1876, George Washington and two other members of the Continental Congress walked into the shop of a businesswoman named Betsy Ross in downtown Philadelphia. George Washington presented Betsy Ross with a sketch, and he asked her, "Hey, can you make the flag for us based on this?" And she looked at it and said, "Can I change these 6-pointed stars into 5-pointed stars? Because I know this cool trick where if I fold flag it a certain way, I can make a 5-pointed star in just one simple cut of the scissors. Look how cool that is." And they were like, "Whoa, that's cool, do it." And so she did, and that is how Betsy Ross created the very first flag of the United States, with these 13 stars in this circular pattern. So that's the story. Now, this story was passed down from Betsy Ross herself to her children and eventually to her grandchildren. And in 1870, her grandchildren had gotten together and written down the details of this family story that they were told. They also signed affidavits swearing before the law that this indeed was the story.
Why are you finding
William
affidavits?
Canby, one of Betsy Ross's grandchildren,
It's a fucking
presented the
lie!
story in a speech to the Historical Society of Pennsylvania, and people ate this story up. They loved it. It was published 3 years later in Harper's Weekly, a very popular nationwide magazine, and it just exploded from there. It's a great story. It's like a local business person got to play a part in the founding of the country. It's a great inspirational story, and this was right after the Civil War, the perfect time for a feel-good patriotic story like this. This is also the time when Flag Day was created and when the Pledge of Allegiance was invented. This was the perfect time for national unity stuff, because after the Civil War, that's what Americans really wanted. In 1893, a painter named Charles Weisgerber painted this classic painting of Betsy Ross in the shop with George Washington and the boys, and this painting became so popular among the public that copies of it were sold as postcards, and the funds from these postcards went toward the preservation of Betsy Ross's house and shop in Philadelphia, which is still there to this day thanks to those funds, and you can visit it as a museum. And now we just associate the creation of the first flag with Betsy Ross even to this day. She's in popular culture, she gets name dropped in Hamilton, she makes cameos in The Simpsons and Looney Tunes. Betsy Ross, like everyone knows Betsy Ross and the story of how she made the first flag. So